Was a girl running in our group. She had a high-speed motor in a 40 Ford coupe. She had a racing cam and a supercharged. Look out, buddy, hot rod and large. She's a hot rod. She's a hot rod.
Mexico. Let's talk about Mexico. They had a problem down there with the union. General Motors is the one they're negotiating with, but the original union down there, I guess, what I'm told, left a little bit to be desired as far as rank and file representation and honesty and all that other good stuff. So they have a couple different independent unions forming in Mexico, and the newest one, the new independent labor union at General Motors' largest Mexico plant, is seeking a 19.2% raise. Whew! Citing surging inflation. Well, they have surging inflation down there. I've been down there. And the U.S. car maker has countered with an offer of 3.5%. So they're a little bit apart. Almost 16%. So the head of the union is SINTTIA is the union. The head of that union told this to Reuters. That's who's been keeping an eye on these negotiations. GM labor negotiations are a high-profile test case for a new trade deal's goal of reducing the vast gap between U.S. workers and their Mexican counterparts. Those people are building the same cars, doing the same jobs. They deserve the same kind of pay. That's just wrong. I mean, if the area doesn't require, different places, I'm sure, different countries are going to pay different, but these people are working their butts off, and I think it's time to pay them. The union, I don't know, there's no pronouncing that. That's just letters. SINTTIA, there's no pronouncing that. Proposal would boost wages at the plant that makes General Motors profitable. Silverado and the Sierra pickups, they're the number one for GM, to as much as 135 pesos or $6.62 an hour based on the copy of the most recent collective contract seen by Reuters. That compares to the U.S. starting wage of $17.50 an hour, highlighting the kind of disparity that drove U.S. insistence on tougher labor rules in the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, the USMCA, the 2020 trade pact that replaced NAFTA. You're going to see this come to fruition. I'm telling you, the union's going to win. GM is under pressure to keep costs low as it faces off with the first new major independent Mexican union since the start of the new trade deal. A victory for the 6,300 workers in Silao, you taught me how to say that one, could spur higher demands at its other Mexico sites and across the auto industry, experts say. This could be a game changer, said Harley Shaken, a labor scholar at the University of California at Berkeley. It should be a labor. They got to make more money. And you know what? Here's the deal. They can pay a starting wage of $17.50 in America to build the same truck that they're building in Mexico at $6.62 an hour. And they sell for the same damn money when they bring them up here, Eric. So what's the story there? And there is no trade. There is no duty or whatever. They don't pay any money to ship it from Mexico to here. So of course they pay for shipping, but still, that's tripling their profit. That's triple. I mean, come on. If you want to build them in Mexico, fine. Pay them. I don't want you build. I'd rather you built everything here. But if you're going to do that, do it. I mean, don't tell me that I can't make can't make more money because you're selling that truck. Whether I build it or somebody in America builds it, you're selling it in Chicago for the same price. And right now they're going for $10,000 over sticker, I heard, because there's a shortage of trucks. Well, there shouldn't be, but there is. Supposed. Don't get me started on the chips again, Eric. I about shot my wad last week with the chips. Woo. I thought Rick was going to shoot me. He would put me up against the wall. The Ukraine. Here's the Ukraine is getting, in a nice move, the Ukraine is getting 50 new Tahoes and 50 new Rangers. They were donated by Ford and GM and shipped to the Ukraine in a deal with Maersk. That's to help the transport Ukrainian citizens to safety. That's a M-A-E-R-S-K. You see them in the port all the time in Chicago, that shipping company. You see it on the side of the boat, Eric. The Ukrainian government now has a fleet of 50 Tahoes and 50 Ford Rangers to help transport its citizens out of danger thanks to donations from the manufacturers. The Tahoes were not taken from inventory destined for U.S. dealerships. They were sent to the Ukraine through a Polish military logistics hub, then delivered over the border by Polish authorities. Ford Motor Company CEO Jim Farley tweeted last week that the company sent 50 Rangers to the Ukraine. The shipping company Maersk partnered with GM and Ford to transport the vehicles for free. So they made out. They're doing real well. They're doing something for, well, they're not doing real well, but they did something for the Ukraine. God bless them. You know, you all know how much I love Elon Musk. Well, there's a guy I love even more, and that's Heinrich Fisker. Elon Musk, at least, is still in business, doing what he has to do, and as a matter of fact, he just bought Twitter. I mean, the guy he's at least a legitimate entity. Well, Heinrich Fisker, who originally back in 09 or 10 got a bunch of money from the DOE under the Obama administration, the abysmal administration, he got like 20 million or some bull and never built a car. If he did, he built 2 or 3. That's all he built. Well, the Fisker CEO said in a tweet Monday that his 86,000 followers should look for him on Instagram because Heinrich Fisker Twitter account has now been canceled after Musk took over. While Fisker didn't explicitly say his move was related to Musk's deal, it wouldn't be surprising given their fraught relationship over for more than a decade. Well, in other words, Elon Musk is still building cars and putting them out on the road. I mean, they're expensive, and again, I think the guy is a hustler, but you know what? He's in business, and he's doing it. This Heinrich Fisker, he's been taking people's money. He's been taking government money. Have you ever seen a Fisker go by on the road? I haven't seen one. I've at least seen a Rivian. You know, just last week, and this is did you go to TF South?
Negative, sir. I'm a proud product of the CPS school system.
Okay, well, this is like a football field from here. Across the street and down a little bit from me is a TF South High School, and they had a event the other night. And during that event, somebody in the park got in the parking lot, cut off 3 of the TF South buses converters, 1 of the opposing team's bus converter, a pickup truck, and 2 cars or whatever. They got 6 converters in one swoop. And it couldn't have taken them more than 30 minutes to get 6 converters. What's that worth, you say? Well, let's look into that. Let's just talk about it. Because right now, catalytic converters, and I'm serious, if you've been touched by it or a neighbor, you're not going to be happy because it's expensive to fix. And I don't know if the insurance company covers that or not. I really don't. Okay, thieves want your catalytic converters at alarming rates. Claims of catalytic converter theft increased more than 1,200%. 1,200% from 2019 to 2021. According to the most recent data from the National Insurance Crime Bureau, as reported by Carfax. That's just a little extra add-on because of unemployment they're drawing. They don't have to work. In 2021, there were 52,206 reported catalytic converter thefts versus 3,969 thefts in 2019. So almost 50,000 more. The number could be higher since owners might not report the theft to their insurance provider. Apparently it is covered. Either way, the staggering increase means new and old vehicles are susceptible, and owners could be on the hook for repairs and replacements that range from $1,000 to $3,000, according to the NICB, National Insurance Control Board. What's so special about catalytic converters other than the environmental benefits? The precious metals inside, man. The spike in catalytic converter thefts reflects the skyrocketing values of rhodium, palladium, and platinum. Thieves can make anywhere from $300 on a standard cat to $1,400 on the hybrid cats. This is from Carfax. Oh, and the ones that they really want to steal are here. F-Series pickup, vans, anything any SUV that sits high, because all they do is they get a cordless Sawzall, charge it up good, or two, and they slide under that car, zip, and it's gone, and you're out $3,000. Some of those though are manifold catalytic converters, and those are the most expensive, and they are not easy to steal. But the converter further down, anything that's in the exhaust pipe, they can have in 20 seconds or less. I'm dead serious. You get a good Sawzall, zip, gone. And they did this while these people were watching a ball game or whatever they were watching in there. I don't know if it was volleyball or might have been badminton for all I know. I don't care.
Nah, sounds like baseball season.
Well, they were
softball, baseball.
People, the bus got in. The bus driver got in to take the kids back home, and it went boom, 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 boom. Whoops! What happened to my exhaust? Well, it's open now.
It's open.
The deal is that, Eric, and here's my problem with this whole catalytic converter thing. If they would dry up the source of the fence, getting the fencing of these things. Right now, it's against the law to take converters that you don't know where they came from at the junkyard or whatever, at the metal companies. But you think the metal companies are going to turn down a pickup truck full of palladium and rhodium and platinum? They're not going to turn that down.
No, definitely not.
And they're going to cut it apart. They're going to melt it all down. They're going to separate it. And who is wiser where it came from? It doesn't know if it came from your car or it came from a car that was wrecked at the junkyard, and they sold them the catalytic converter from the junkyard, which is legal for the precious metals. Mm-hmm. But to steal them, of course, is not legal. If they need to because you can't stop them. There's no way you can stop them. They're too easy. Their cars sit too high now. People can get under them and steal those. Boy, I mean, it doesn't take seconds. And matter of fact, we were playing around with that the other day at the shop, and a guy was showing me piece of pipe. We put a piece of pipe underneath this SUV, just hung it there, and he went under there and cut it off in less than 20 seconds. It would have been a converter. It was just simulating a converter. He says, less than 20 seconds. The young guy that works for me. I said, well, you're young. You can do that stuff. I mean, wow. But anyway, they need to dry up the source of the fencing. Get rid of where they're selling it. Crack down on the guys that are buying these things illegally, because that's why they're stealing them. If they got nowhere to sell them, they'll quit doing it. They made cars so sophisticated and so electronic and so computerized that they're almost impossible to steal by the old person that used to steal them. In the parking lot at the restaurant or whatever, that guy's gone. He can't steal it. He doesn't know how. Right. So now the carjackings are up 1,000% because they have to steal it with you in it, because you have the key fob or it's running. As long as it's running, you can take the key fob and get out and giggle to yourself, ha ha, he won't get far. He'll get as far as he wants to as long as he doesn't shut it off. He can put another tank of gas in it. He can drive that thing for 2 weeks without a key fob. Once he turns it off or once it dies out, that's the end of that. Then the car is useless. So then they scrap it or get rid of it, or they just park it wherever it is. And that's why the carjackings are up, because they're too hard to steal. If they make these things hard to steal, it's only going to cost you, the consumer, more money. They have to make them hard to sell. They have to make those converters hard to sell. In that way, they will probably curb. Of course, the car thefts are way down, but the carjackings are way up. Yeah. And that's necessity, okay? Now, if they just would make this so that you can't get rid of this catalytic converter once you do steal it, well, guess what? You're not going to steal it, or you're not going to be as prone to steal it as you might be. EV, electric vehicle chargers, are now, you knew this was coming, Eric, they're now a target for hackers. We haven't even got enough of them yet. We don't have anywhere near enough chargers, but they're already figuring out ways to hack them. And as electric vehicle sales pick up steam worldwide, electric vehicles charging stations are emerging as an enticing target for hackers. Chargers provide a new opportunity for hackers looking ways to make money, warns Yoav Levy, CEO of Upstream Security, an Israeli provider of automotive cybersecurity platforms. On one hand, the chargers are connected to the grid, and on the other hand, they're connected to your car. High-profile incidents of hacked charging stations around the world have spotlighted the vulnerabilities. 3 charging points on the Isle of Wight in England were hacked to show pornography on their screens, according to the report last month by BBC News. How come we don't get that lucky, Eric? They're going to hack something, hack mine and put the pornography on. Jeez. At my age, I don't care. In February, electric vehicle charging stations along a major highway between Moscow and St. Petersburg in Russia were disabled by hackers protesting the country's invasion of Ukraine. The chargers' screens reportedly displayed a vulgar insult directed at Russian President Vladimir Putin, along with other pro-Ukraine and anti-Russian messages. So you can either have porn or you can have a dictator. You can have whatever you want. Oh my God, that's crazy.
That's a tough decision.
Oh yeah, well if I could cuss out Vladimir Putin, I would. I think it'd be fun, especially if I knew Russian. That was a big thing when I was in high school. Everybody was taking Russian. I didn't take Russian. My dad made me take Latin. 4 years. To this day, I can't e pluribus unum. I can't do nothing.
Really?
Yeah.